I skipped my last class and met Ryan in the parking lot behind the school, where the Shrubs, the kids who liked to party on the weekends, hung out. Other than the coffee shop at the arena, it was the only place we could smoke off school grounds. The nearby residents didn't like it, but they didn't give us too much hassle unless someone was revving their engines or had their stereos blasting. Then the cops would come by, checking to see if we were drinking or smoking pot. And someone usually was, but I never did. Not at school, anyway. Woodbridge High was old and in need of a serious facelift. The siding was washed out blue where it wasn't covered by graffiti, which the janitor was constantly trying to remove. There were about 500 kids at the school, which went from grade 8 to 12. My graduating class had about 120 kids, and I didn't give a crap about 99% of them. There were a few of us that day, clustered around our vehicles in groups. The girls with their long hair and bangs teased up, wearing too much dark makeup and their boyfriends' jackets. The guys with their Kurt Cobain hair and the hoods up on their trucks, talking about carburetors and Hemi engines. Most of us were dressed grunge, flannel shirts, ripped jeans, ragged sweaters, everyone in darker colors. Ryan was leaning on his truck, talking to a couple of his friends. He smiled when he saw me, passed a smoke. "Hey, babe." I smiled back, took a drag. "Hey." I'd been going with Ryan Walker since last July when we hooked up at the gravel pit, which was where the guys went on the weekends to four-wheel drive and have bonfires. He drove a badass Chevy truck, which he worked on all the time, the only thing we ever fought about. I'd known who he was for a while, always thought he was cute, with brown shaggy hair and thick brows, almost black eyes, long eyelashes, a killer smile that made his mouth lift up on one side, and this way of looking at you from under the brim of his baseball cap that was super sexy. But he had a girlfriend for a few months, a blonde chick. After they broke up, he didn't seem interested in anyone else, like he'd rather just do his own thing or hang out with the guys. He had a reputation for being tough, which was hot. He didn't fight for no reason, but if someone tried pushing their weight around or was talking shit about his dad, who'd been in and out of jail since Ryan was a kid, he'd take them down. Mostly when he wasn't with me, he spent time with his friends, working on their trucks, fishing, dirt biking, or four-wheeling. There wasn't much else to do. Campbell River's a small coastal town on the northern part of the island. Population who gives a shit. I'd grown up there, but Ryan's family had moved down a couple of years earlier from northern BC. Everyone in Campbell River either worked as a logger, at the pulp mill, in the mines, or on a fishing boat. Ryan worked part-time at one of the outdoor stores. I used to go there sometimes, pretending to look around but mostly trying to catch his eye. He was always busy helping some customer, though, so I'd given up. One night last summer, I'd been at the pit with friends, smoking a joint and taking it easy, when Ryan came over and started talking to me, asking how my summer was going. I tried to play it casual, like it wasn't a big deal, but my heart was pounding like crazy. He said, "You want to go for a drive?" We flew up the gravel hills, spraying mud out behind us, the engine as loud as the music. AC/DC, Back in Black. I laughed, feeling alive and excited. He said, "You're some cool chick." Later, we shared sips of Southern Comfort around the fire, his arm warm behind my back while we talked about our families, my constant fights with my mom, his problems with his dad. We'd been together ever since. I took a drag of the smoke. Ryan watched, giving his lazy smile as he leaned against the truck, one eye half closed, his hair winging out from underneath his ball cap. His friends had drifted off. It was the first week of January and cold, but he wasn't wearing a coat, only a thick brown sweater that made his eyes look like dark chocolate. He tucked his fingers into the front pocket of my jeans.